Look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear.
No. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of the motherfucking Informally Honest podcast. Niggas and niggettes and niggas adjacent. We want to thank y'all for joining us for another episode. In case it's your first time joining us, four brothers from the middle neighborhood of Gary, Indiana, to come together and converse about this thing called life. And no matter where the conversation goes, we make sure we pride ourselves on always being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, as it says, honest. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Good. Hanging in there, dog. Hanging in there. Try not to blow my nose during this recording.
Right. So let's just go ahead and hop right into it. We got a request. We got a DM for a subject. A shout out to Anise, who hit us about this pretty heavy topic, to say the least. So there was a situation. I'm reading an article from April 12th. So this is only a few days ago. Where apparently woman Courtney Taylor, a social media influencer and OnlyFans personality, apparently stabbed her boyfriend to death in Miami. Was not charged with any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? She was not charged whatsoever. Crime, yes. She was not charged with any crime. She was not charged whatsoever. She was actually allotted, I forgot what it's called, but the something act where they automatically deemed it a domestic violence case, although there was no evidence of any kind of thing of domestic violence. And that so she was sent to treatment and therapy for that. And nothing, like I said, no charges have been filed.
I thought she did some type of like put in, like she was insane or something like that.
Nah,
no?
the last thing I saw anyway was. Say it again.
I said I know that happens a lot where they just plead insanity and start acting crazy, you know.
Right. So they can get a better plea deal, which would have been, I guess, some kind of admittance. But it was a fully out. She claimed, and the leading officer in the case claimed that it was a domestic violence dispute. Although it, I think they said neighbors heard an argument, but there was no physical evidence inside of the apartment, as if anything had been broken, or she had no physical ailments or abrasions or what have you. Yeah. And so, and I'm not saying this in invalidate, I'm just saying the facts as we know them, just because there isn't much to do, there isn't much public stuff. Now, here's where the social part of this comes into play, is that dude, Christian Toby Obumseli, was black man. The girlfriend was a white woman. And apparently back in high school, because of some tweets that resurfaced after his death in 2012, some tweets from 2012 resurfaced of him bashing black women and black people in general. And so there seems to be this general
stain
on him. Thank you. Y'all being my vocabulary today. Where he folks apparently Twitter's hellscape, but folks aren't really caping that hard for him, because they're like, well, you got your big ball of irony, because the white woman that you lusted after this whole time got you OJ the fuck up out of here.
Just to start off the conversation. I think something happened to him. Maybe a previous relationship with the black girl, or something in his family where that made him lose trust of Black people in general. That's what his tweets were like, outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw,
they were so specific. They were so out of the, like, he was going out of his way. And for me, that's always like weird when people go out of their way, and it doesn't matter what the subject is. Even like when people, okay, politics. Say someone goes out of their way to put like an anti something on their car, or like fuck Joe Biden or fuck Trump. It's like you're going out of your way to be anti. Is like to me that's when it gets weird. So in this case, to me, it's even worse because like you're kind of like dissing and I don't want to say your own people, like we're a tribe, you know, like because we don't. I mean, we kind of are to a certain degree, but in my opinion, I just think this is a little bit worse than like, you know, what I was previously saying. But no, I definitely I've seen that too, where like people are kind of dismissing it, kind of like, well, I mean, you kind of brought it on yourself. It's a definitely interesting situation though.
So I got like conflicting feelings about the whole thing. And I was talking to a homie of mine, and we kind of came to a little agree to disagree discourse toward it. And not saying that what I'm gonna say is all his feelings. It was a text message conversation, and we know real conversation can't happen in full detail in text. But pretty much I have this like conflicted thing where I get people need to be held accountable to bullshit that they do, say, treat people, etc., especially the internet being what it is. We can't act like 2012 was that different of a time. Granted, it was a decade ago. Because all the tweets that I saw were from 2012. He was 27 when he got off a couple of days ago. When this article came out. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
Is this whole thing like recent? I didn't even really.
So this whole thing is very recent.
I think he got killed at the beginning of the month. I think.
Something like that.
Like the 4th or 5th, something like that.
Still like 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the whole thing is he was 27 going on 28, and these tweets were from a decade ago, meaning that he had to be 17, 18 when it happened, or when he was saying this stuff. And so, while it's not really an excuse, I go, did everyone kind of forget how horrible teenagers are? And so I'm going like, you know how much stupid shit, the danger inside of saying stupid shit these days, and I guess for them too, you know, in relative early-ish years of Twitter, is that the internet kind of lives forever.
Yep.
But teenagers say some of the most dumb, ignorant, ill-informed bullshit. That's what teenagers do. My God, if I got held accountable to the shit that I said in high school, because I'm a very different Negro now. You know what I mean?
Me too, bro.
And
me too.
I do agree, but I agree. Technically, I agree, but I feel like he displays so much self-hate. Though, it's like it's okay for like if someone was like saying, I mean, as bad as this sounds, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But if someone was saying racist stuff against someone else, and then they grew from that, it's like, okay, that's a good growth. And I know it's like, you know, it shouldn't matter. Growth is growth, but I feel like it's worse because it's like it's such a display of self-hate. It's like, how do you? And then you, like you said, 10 years later, here you are, you know, dating this white Insta famous, you know, it's like. In his mind, I'm only guessing he probably thought he hit the jackpot. Like this is enlightenment. This is like,
but
and then
but the thing is,
Nirvana.
The thing is, at least I haven't 30. Seen anyway. We don't know. We don't know what his progression was in them 10 years that it could have been.
Exactly.
He could have had his growth. But still,
10 years is a good amount of time to grow.
And that's what makes this whole situation so weird. It makes me feel weird because I don't know enough. So it's like I just feel, I don't know. I still think that the tweets are outrageous.
Sure,
we all agree on that.
Yeah.
But So the other part of this is, at the end of the day, though, he's a black dude that was killed by a white woman, and law enforcement law enforcement essentially disregarded it.
Yeah,
so that
continues to
too.
do nothing.
So his
family
tweets, his tweets are disturbing. His tweets are disturbing, but I'm also disturbed by how law enforcement handled it. So I can feel both, things, and that's what one thing I hate is because people are like, well, he said this, so he deserved to die. So like for me, he said some messed up stuff, but I still don't think he deserved to die though.
None of these things justify death.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I most definitely am thrown off by how the law enforcement handled it, because they didn't have any moral standpoint of this, or they shouldn't have. Like, they should not be concerned about the tweets or anything like that. They should be concerned primarily about the case.
It should be a yes. Yeah.
Well, I don't think the cops have any had any that the tweets is really just Black Twitter. I think the whole thing with the cops is cops got to the situation, saw from allegedly saw this chick kissing her dog covered in his blood, and
with no bumps or bruises or anything.
That's all I'm saying.
Self-defense.
She had nothing of any struggle to her, but it's covered in his blood from stabbing this man to death, and automatically ruled it as some kind of domestic violence situation with no evidence to show the contrary.
So basically, they just feel like a fight happened and you just won.
Oh, it must have been self-defense. Based on what?
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, what's throwing me off about this is, like you said, I haven't seen any photos of this woman. Like, if it was self-defense, then I'm assuming there's going to be some type of scratches on her, bruises, anything.
Exactly, dog.
The apartment should have something moved or shoved around. And then so she stabbed this man in self-defense. So she should have cut wounds on her hands. Do we know that because when you stab somebody, especially more than likely it's probably a kitchen knife, so there's no hilt.
There's no guard.
So there's no guard. I'm sorry. So yeah. So if you stabbed a person, it's not like the movies where they stab somebody 50 times with a kitchen knife and it just pleasantly stays in their hand. Yeah, it's like when you stab a body, it's gonna have some resistance. So
for sure,
she should have some wounds on her from stabbing this man.
Or from
it's just too many things. It's like, so she was able to craft, it's actually way harder to use a knife as well. It's like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like she must have been a real skilled technician with this knife, because I've seen photos of them. And
she out here being Doug Marcaida from.
That's what I'm saying. Because she's much smaller than him, so I'm like, so she was able.
Unless her fucking spirit animal is Evander Holyfield, there's no fucking way she was able to do something like that.
I know. You know. I'm not saying there wasn't a domestic dispute in the house.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying you're right. It's crazy.
Yeah, but
we just don't know.
It's just fishy to me. That's all.
I'm curious to see the progression of his social media, stuff. Like who is he? Who did he become? Because he was definitely leaning into his whole argument about Black women and Black people.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, again, he was just leaning into it.
Right.
And did he just all of a sudden stop those feelings or stop those tweets, or was he still kind of, I wouldn't even say that's not violent, that's just very, very strong opinions, for whoever it may be towards. Somebody should have looked into that, or I don't know.
You know what though? It also begs the question: when do we ever get all the information? It's whenever certain information comes out, it always panders to one side or the other. What somebody wants us to. It's these fucking cases, man.
I mean, these fucking cases. It's so many things to touch on. I'm trying to organize my thoughts. One, there's there's too long of a history of as soon as white innocence needs to be proven at the cost of a black life, something has to come out about something bad that black person did. It's just too long of a history of that.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
Countless cases. The fact that they had a video, the whole video of George Floyd being choked down on the ground, and then the first thing to come out was something about him being some kind of criminal. Like, yo, stop it.
What do that got to do with anything?
With the fact, and so in this case, I think there is a duality of the situation can be fucked up, and it can be dumb ironic that this fetishization that he had with white women and white people, etc., whiteness, is what got him killed to some degree. But we still have to, people still kind of need to acknowledge, like, yo, but dude still got killed, and we
should separate the two. Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Still, his case does not seem to have any kind of priority for actual justice, which to even say, knowing that I barely / don't really believe in the American justice system in regards to Black lives. So it's like it's just, I have so many feelings about this situation that we don't have enough information on.
What was he background like? What was their background? What is his background? What is he
background, like ethnic background, or like ethnic background, occupational background?
How did he come in contact with her?
Oh,
I have no idea. We know more about her. I know, like, for example, like Josh was saying, she's only like apparently she's pretty famous on Instagram. I guess they said she has like 2
million followers.
So she's probably and she's like an influencer, you know. So she's that person. I don't know how she met him.
He probably dropped a couple of bags on her.
I'm just wondering too, like, okay, now that she claimed insanity, can she just go back and like just continue the OnlyFans and Instagram as if her life is normal now? Well, you gonna act insane. You're gonna act insane if you're gonna claim that shit.
Well, I don't think she claimed insanity. I think they claimed it was domestic abuse. And so they sent her to like some kind of therapy or something for that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I guess my next question is, how long before she's all of a sudden healed and healthy again to go back to her business as usual?
Well, funny enough, a video recently went viral of her in some hotel lobby, and somebody approached her like, "Why you just out here being casual, bitch?
Yeah, you just killed somebody.
Like you just killed your boyfriend, and you just out here acting like everything regular."
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
I would tell all like Black men content creators, I might have to stay away from this one.
yeah.
But the thing is, though, man, like, because I know we've like the talk has been about like how he fetishizes white people, but you could really say it's the opposite way too, though, because a lot of these white influencers have Black boyfriends. It's like it's the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the whole thing is irony, and another layer of irony that I don't know if anyone has caught on to. So his nickname was Toby,
right?
Like Toby, as in Roots Toby.
Well, that's because his middle name his middle name is Toby Chukwu.
I know. I'm saying, but it just adds to the
that
kind of like the Black man that was broken by the white man. It's like. It's crazy. it's the most poetic thing ever.
Oh man,
yeah. I didn't put that together because I was like, oh yeah, Toby Chukwu. Like because I think about Toby in the Wig Way, and that's his whole name. And so I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about the whole Roots correlation. That's funny.
Yeah, like for me, because when I first saw Toby, that's honestly the first thing I thought about before I even knew that was his name. I just thought. Then I found out it was his name. Like, okay, but it's still funny. I mean,
talking about horrible shit that we said as kids. We used to yell that in elementary school down the hallway. Your name is Toby. Like,
just
horrible things you do as kids. I don't know. I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. I'm not even defending Cat. I'm defending the fact that nobody should be killed for stupid shit. Not to say that people should be killed for other reasons. Some people deserve to die. But
We don't know why he got. Why did she kill him? Or
Well, they're claiming self-defense.
They're claiming self-defense, but that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like,
again, we really don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think we ever will, unless you know he has some hidden camera in the house, or she had camera set up for social media that they didn't wipe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm just without nuance. It's just like It's just here's another one. Here's another some crazy shit happened. You know, like, I'm not even surprised. What can one say right now outside of it? There goes another, like, outside of the DJ Khaled shit, and another one. You know, like,
I'll tell you what though, if I was his family, I would be I would be mad.
Oh, they are. They're
sure.
trying to get they're trying to get everything filed and whatnot, but they're being sidelined or whatever by that police department.
And it's Florida too. It's just
And
like
it's Florida.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Because you know they're all about that whole stand your ground and this and that and
Florida woman. I don't know about Florida fans.
yeah.
Florida woman.
So yeah. Any last thoughts on this before we move on?
You know what? It sucks, of course. Yeah, I feel for I hope the family gets some sense of, I don't know what they're gonna. I just hope they get some closure's not the right word. Something to bring them some sense of ease, man, during this.
Well, they need to hire a PI or something like that.
Because with such little, I hope they give them something that helps with this case getting justice, of course. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
his family.
Love and condolences to the family. I can't, be my normal
I wonder
contrarian self.
Like, where did Anise want this conversation to go? Like, because I think a lot of people took it to like the interracial dating topic.
They did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to shut that down, man.
In which I'm just going like, what? Why is that even? How is that even still a conversation? I mean, one, why is bullshit around interracial shit still happening? You know, why are white women paid more to fuck black dudes in porn still? Like, why is it's weird in this day and age.
I thought it was less.
Huh?
I thought they got paid less if they got seen looking at a black dude.
Nope, more.
What? Oh, okay. I thought it was less. Hey,
Nah.
I thought that was why a lot of them didn't want to.
You said what?
Well, I'm assuming it's more because it's kind of seen as this like
taboo
thing. So
yeah.
it's like, well, we'll pay. You got to lure them like to, we'll pay you more if you.
Word.
And of course, that's what like the major ones from what I've heard and whatnot. So, but that's also why stupid ass sites like Blacked and all that shit could be prosperous, because you're like, why is this catering to this audience? Okay.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I ain't mean to pivot into porn, but I was just thinking about like
that used to be my channel, bro. That used to be my channel. I can't front.
You say what?
That used to be my channel, bro. That channel was in my top 8, bro. That channel was in my top 8. I'm being real. I picture myself in every scene too.
That's great that you can put yourself there because your light skin is gonna be in there.
Yeah.
Smart tab look like.
I'm just saying, bro, tearing them down.
I mean, the production value is amazing, but I'm going like I guess my whole I'm just that whole fetishization thing is still kind of just weird to me. Like in 2022, he's like, "Oh my god, yeah, your black clock." Like I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm not
get
looking
it.
at it from that. Yeah, I guess I'm not looking at it from that perspective. Like, Nah, I'm not expecting her to be so blown away by you know. Like, yo, I'm looking forward to what she could contribute in the physical. It's like, all right, that's cool. This is surprising. It's blowing you away, but you know, can you still fulfill this commitment? You know what I'm saying? Can you capitalize right now or not?
You know what's funny? I just like, y'all know the rapper Mano?
Yeah.
Like, rapper or whatever. But he was on some podcast like telling about his his fetishes or whatever.
Mhm.
Oh,
And he was talking about how he liked to role play and do the whole runaway slave.
Yeah, I did see something about this.
yeah.
Get to this somehow.
I mean, I saw some other video go viral. Black dude married a white woman. They already had a little mixed baby, and she was like walking him around on a leash. And the kid was dressed like the owner.
I didn't see that one. That's
I think I saw DL posted or something like that. But yeah, it's
Well,
Yeah, that'd
to
be
some
people,
degree. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
just people. I don't know how. I don't know. It comes from a weird place. I mean, what you do is what you do, but
That's
maybe
kind
you
of
should
how I feel.
kind of keep it to yourself.
you would think.
Yeah. Like, I'm not about to. It's hard to comment on what somebody does behind closed doors, but I guess once you put that shit out there, it's like,
yeah.
what you expect, man. What you expect.
I mean, I'm not here to kink shame. By all means, there's plenty of things that I can be okay with. I can be okay. You live your life how you fucking live your life, but it's certain shit that I'm just like, that's not okay. It's just
Yeah.
I think he was saying it in a comedic way.
Yeah.
Still, I believed him.
that's what matters. So yeah,
I guess my last comment on this, to take it back to the main, is like, I do think it's possible to separate. Like, yes, if a lot of people are just leaving it black and white, like, well, he deserved it because he was talking all that shit. Yeah, that shit's not cool, but that's another story. That's separate from the fact that he still got murdered and he did not deserve that. We should be able to separate the two and acknowledge and address them when necessary. He still got murdered. It shouldn't be no black and white. He deserved it because he was talking that shit. That's a different situation. It's ironic, but we address those separately. You know, like whether he had a sickness or whatever was going on that contributed to him making those crazy ass tweets, like it doesn't mean he's just okay. It's just cool. Like, no remorse for the fact that he went out like that.
But we don't know if his choices or his stances led to this. I mean,
They might have played a part.
We're pretty confident that it did. Like, if he didn't feel those ways, then maybe he wouldn't be in this predicament.
mm-hmm.
But
It's too easy to say.
Yeah, we really don't 100% know that, because he could have reconciled his differences with black people and still just have this friend. But again, I don't know his background, like as far as his profession or his history with her. Like, I feel like I don't know anything about him. So
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, even more to the point, like, we should be able to separate the two and address them when necessary. Like, it can't just be, oh, he deserved it, I don't feel bad for him. It's a horrible way to fuck. The fact that he got murdered in general is crazy and not cool, but that's a horrible way to go out getting murdered, like getting stabbed like that. Come on, man. We got to have some sense of like, what about the human? This motherfucker was a human first. We got to have some sense of.
I just think, though, like, this is a whole nother topic that can come from this. What filled people in the comments disdain for him is it seemed like black people are at odds with each other as far as male and females, because we usually don't see this in other people, like how we like for instance, like Tashina Arnold had asked, like I don't know if it was Twitter or some other social media.
I think it was on Twitter or Facebook, one of those. I know what you're talking about.
Right. But she was saying like, how can we make Black men feel less emasculated as Black women? And people kind of like attacked her, and you can tell that there's some animosity in general between men and women, and that's a whole nother subject to be talked about from this.
I mean, absolutely, because it's an unfortunate truth that Black women suffer the most in regards to their treatment by the general populace. But it is also a thing of there's far too many cases of one of the greatest dangers to Black women being Black men. Because it's whoever you're in closest proximity to most of the time is going to be the situation, crime happens internally and externally. But it's that animosity and vitriol. It's just too many generations of hurt and lack of accountability to one another. But yeah, it's a lot of thing of when that proximity to privilege thing, proximity to power, it's just so corroded. A lot of it is really, really corroded.
I just feel like, because we say this about other very important subjects, when we bring it up, when people try to derail the topic, it's like, why can't we have this conversation separate from anything else that you want to talk about? Why can't we address this straightforwardly? And
I agree, bro. 100%.
Subject, because any other cause is important too. Like, that's like Black Lives Matter. We're not saying that other lives don't matter, or what, we had that conversation. So why can't we have that conversation? And there's a time and place to have the conversation about Black women too. Let's address what's the topic. So that shows some deep level of dysfunction, that we can't mention things separately and address that without having to feel like we're competing.
Yeah, if I may, I ain't trying to step on anybody else speaking toward it. I think what happens often, Marcus, inside of that is, one, today's society is very much about whataboutism. That whole, as soon as the subject comes up, I need to ask, well, what about this? Or what about that? That whole Tucker Carlson, what's the other dude's name?
Sean Hannity.
Sean Hannity thing that they do, where they never actually talk toward the actual subject, they just ask a bunch of irrelevant questions. And the big thing is there's a weird kind of crossroads thing that people go through where they either try to absolve themselves of any kind of responsibility of how they may play a part in whatever that thing is, or they want to claim some level of victimhood to make it seem like what they go through is worse than what you're talking about.
I think that's so pathetic. I mean, it comes from hurt, so I don't want to say that, but I kind of lost my thought. But why do you have to make your individual hurt take that and apply it to this general subject that we're talking about?
Like, if it's applicable, sure, you could talk about. But if it's not, yeah, I feel you. It's you're just derailing the conversation.
That's it. I know we got kind of there, but
no, by all means, man, you gotta treat it like strokes. Stay shallow, but get deep sometimes. Adam, Marcus, y'all got any thoughts on that subject? Because that's a great point, Marcus. I agree with you. I think that's a issue with a lot of discourse today.
You know what? I actually don't at this time. Not this time.
Word.
Yeah, I think. I mean, damn, y'all explained it so eloquently. I'm like, damn, what is there to say, man? I mean, I guess touching on the hurt. I think that was a very good point. The fact that he brought up is coming from hurt, because it's not like people. One, I think a lot of us go around with like hurt just underneath the surface, like, or almost like that chip on your shoulder, and that shit could be triggered with almost anything. And I think when it's like that, when you're wounded from a situation or many situations like that, it's gonna come out. I'm not surprised that it comes out when, like, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the situations when it comes out is when you feel like you're being attacked by something, even though it's no, I'm touching on what you were saying. Like, I'm not surprised if it comes out that way, when even though to the person who's bringing up a particular topic, it's separate from the situation, but they just feel triggered. So it's like an easy thing to go to when your hurt becomes triggered. It's hard to really see and hear the person clearly and be able to distinguish the difference when all they're coming from is hurt, or like when that hurt is triggered, because it's just underneath the surface. You know, you walking around with that shit. That's why you almost can't say anything sometimes. It's like, if it hurts somebody in particular, they can't even see that what you were saying originally might be a valid point.
Hey, yo,
contribute to something productively.
The word trigger is the new swag.
I mean, I guess I hear what you're saying, Aaron. I hate to be it's about both sides type of thing, but just think about conversations when they can get a little heavy, not including and not including this. If you bring up a subject that I have some kind of close ties to and I get triggered from it or whatever,
because it happens.
It can happen. I guess it's a thing of not everyone always has the tools or the capacity or the bandwidth to be able to not insert their own ego inside of it. Because
that's what I'm saying.
To me, that's a it's not always, but it's a little bit of ego to think that just because this subject's being brought up, that's directly about you.
Yes, absolutely. That's
now, can you be involved in it? Sure. And you can even bring it up, but to think that it's an attack.
I don't even think that like it's them thinking that. It's just that hurt in them is telling them that. It becomes their experience of it now, which is hard to override. You know, when that shit's like happening.
And what you gotta. I benefit of the doubt is hard to come by for a lot of people. So I ain't gonna. I don't think everybody's entitled to it. But do you really think that person cares about you that much?
Yeah.
Look, man, I guess part of it is coming from my own past experience, but also that's why I appreciate, I've seen my ego display similar things as well, in the sense of, so part of it I think is ego, part of this is also me wanting, I feel like it makes it easier for a conversation with clarity when both people are able to see their own struggles or to see their own challenges that they may have in certain situations. So when things like that come up, it's not so easily overridden. And like, so what I mean by that is, I appreciate someone who addresses something about me, and it very well may be true. I appreciate it much more when they can also, like for lack of a better word, talk the talk. So like when if they can also see their own shit and be like, yo, if you can see your own shit and it's possible to like make that separation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's easier, or it's easier to be clear when you're seeing it in somebody else, and for it to not to get kind of muddled up is what I'm saying. I'm sorry for.
I was like, woo.
I'm coming off of the top with this.
I'm sorry. The reason I was laughing because you was like, when you see your own shit, and then I just kept I was just following that. So when you say see your shit in somebody else, You see it, mano.
My bad. Coming off the top, man.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I kind of feel like I was going back and forth with that. But I guess straight and simple, I appreciate somebody. I mean, not use the word shit. I appreciate somebody who sees their own challenges the same way they see somebody else's, and not just seeing somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's easy to see somebody else's challenges because you don't have to see your own. But if you can see your own, I'm like, okay, you have a better understanding of having a clear conversation and delineating the difference between the two, so we can have a conversation that's just straight about this one topic. You know what I'm saying? Does that make that better? Yeah. I'm going back and forth. I know.
Go ahead, Marco, because I know you got to run.
I think this kind of related to what Aaron was saying, but like when we have these discussions like in an open forum and people are wanting to derail and talk about their cause, I think what's happening also is like they're saying like we would like you to ride for our cause also just as hard and be here to talk about our cause and care about our cause when it's time. I kind of feel like they just want they're not so much trying to disrespect your cause. They just saying
they want you to see the validity that they see in their cause when it's time.
Even if it's not related, they're trying to say, hey, this is very important too. So I want to say when it's time, please come, please come check the cause. But that's not timing. That's not good timing on their behalf to be having this conversation. But I think is something in it like, hey, look at what we trying to fight for too, kind of thing.
I mean,
and I just really like when people see themselves. When they can see themselves clearly, then you see others. Otherwise, it's hard. It's challenging for me also to be like, this motherfucker don't even see himself or herself. This person doesn't even see themselves and the challenges they have. How are you seeing other people so clearly and not your own issues?
But I guess my thing is,
I'm saying just in general, I guess.
There's a time and place. Mm-hmm. If we're arguing over, I'm trying to think of like a subject that's immediately relevant, regardless of an analogy. If we're arguing about a particular thing that we both ride for, and then somebody just inserts themselves, being like, "But this thing was happening over here, and nobody gave us any energy." We're like, "Motherfucker, we're not talking about that right now."
Agreed. Yeah.
It's like
I'm speaking in general on the person. Like I just respect the person who can see their own shit, and I feel like they have a little more clarity in the situation when talking about issues that have happened. You know, that's all. It's easier for them maybe to not override a situation with their own shit that they think is more important or just as important.
And I generally just have beef with people who like try to put themselves into a subject that they aren't familiar with or don't know shit about, and try to prioritize their presence as opposed to just being a part of whatever the populace is a part of.
Yeah, because it shows.
Yeah,
you know what you're talking about.
Essentially, you out here trying to be social gentrifiers. And so I don't know. Marco, I know we about to lose. You got anything you want to say before you run?
No, man. Just appreciate this conversation, man. I definitely appreciate people giving us conversations to have.
Shout out to Anise, yo. She hit up the DM and she was like, "Hey, I've been binge listening to the podcast at work, and you guys are great." And I was like, "Yo, I really appreciate that." So
it makes do homework. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So once we actually can kind of talk about something that we looked up. So yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, that's about all, man. I appreciate the viewers and listeners and my fellow potters.
That was a Harry Potter thing.
I'll see y'all
on the flip flop.
Word.
Yo,
Take it easy, bro.
stay blessed, man.
Short story, just thinking about like people inserting themselves in situations that they don't know what the fuck is going on. So this is kind of unrelated, but it was just a funny moment to me. I went to go see Sons of Kemet last Monday, I think it was. It might have been 2 weeks ago, but in either way, during the tuba solo, he started doing the rhythm that kind of sounded like a typical house beat. So I started singing like she got a big old dookie booty, he got a big old dookie, and other songs like just having fun with it. And it was such a priceless moment to see all the black people in the room like latch on to me doing that shit.
Yeah.
And all the white people to be completely confused.
Yeah.
And the like funny but annoying thing was there was this white dude sitting next to me, and you could tell he just walked in off the street. He didn't know who was playing.
Yeah.
And so he kept on trying to like get in there with me. And so when I was like, she got a big old dookie booty, he was like, and a hairy lip. And I was like, what are you?
What? Yo, a hairy lip is what he goes with? A fucking hairy lip? What?
I was like, yo, and he kept doing that shit. Like Shabaka Hutchins, one of the saxophones in the band. He also plays flute. And so he takes out his flute at one point and he's like, whoo! You hear that piccolo? And I was like, that's not what the fuck that is.
This actually sounds like a scene from a movie, man.
I'm telling you, it was ridiculous. Dude was playing tuba. He was like, oh man, that fucking trombone is hidden. What is happening right now?
Man, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he sound like a fucking, he came in to troll only or something, man.
Yeah.
I'm so sure that my man was being sincere, and that made it so much worse.
Yeah, definitely. Damn. A hairy lip? What? Yeah. That can't be your comment of choice, man. That can't be your
if you don't know, then just shut the fuck up. It's so easy to shut up.
Sure is.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that story because it was funny to me that people insert themselves and you're like, you don't know what's happening. It'd be one thing if I did it and like nobody responded, but when you saw a group of black people be like, hi, you should go, I don't know what's happening. Let's just witness this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just enjoy the ambiance, man. Enjoy the ambiance. Yeah, I feel like a lot of that, I mean, that's like a major issue in social media too. It's just motherfuckers don't even know what's going on and just start commenting. That's how a lot of shit probably goes viral.
I mean, it depends on the platform.
Not doing like the research or any research.
Research,
you know?
Nah.
Not investigating in any way, shape, or form.
You read the headline and then you make an opinion. That is what this era is.
You read the headline, get triggered, make it opinion.
Literally. So, yeah. Well, I think that's it. So oh man. Shit. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else.
No, man, I just want to once again reiterate, like, I wish some ease for the family, you know? Like, I think that's the way to make this a lighter situation is to wish those involved, wish that there's some justice, some fair justice around this, and some ease and some sense of closure or peace to the family during a horrible situation. And the fact that it could get even worse as this shit goes on, as we've seen in past times, it should get even worse as more information or lack thereof when somebody's trying to fight for justice. So we've seen it enough times, and I'm sick of it. I want some sense of fairness, some sense of justice, and I wish during all of this some sense of ease for his family.
A question did just come to me. We can cut this because this may be horrible.
Okay. Leave me alone, Josh. Leave me alone.
What's a way that if your family found out you died this way, that, or not even say your family, if people found out you died this way, that people would find this incredibly ironic?
Oh damn.
That's good.
That's actually a really good question. Damn. We ain't
it's a slightly fucked up question due to the subject, but
yeah, but there's nuance in life. That's, you know. Can we separate the two? Can we separate this and not be the terrible people, but also like have?
I mean, you can be terrible.
Understanding.
I never claimed that I'm not
for
terrible.
the family. That's true. I haven't either. That's true. That's true.
It's like I get people suck, and I am people. I just
yeah. Hey, that's the fucking title, son. I am people.
It's like I try to suck less every day, but it's not gonna change the fact that
that's what girl in the situation said. All right, I'm done. Try to suck less.
But what is it? I think my as much as I talk, if I died in like a some international brothel, then everybody who like talks to me socially would be like, yeah, that actually tracks.
Mine would have to be something like, what's the opposite of the shit I be talking? Like sometimes, like, you know, in a movie, okay, it's been a while since I brought up Eminem, so don't fucking hit me with this. He always brings it up every goddamn time. Stop it.
Just because you missed episodes does not mean that it's been a while.
Stop it. The only thing is, I would pay Adam large sums of money to go through every single episode and actually count it out, so I could get some justice around this fucking topic. All right. Speaking of getting justice, I need some fucking justice. I would pay Adam large sums to go with a fine-tooth comb. Fine-tooth comb, man. You know, I'm just saying I got a band on it at least. But sometimes I'm sure I sound like, I laugh at myself sometimes. I'll watch an episode back and be like, I sound like that one dude that the one friend on 8 Mile that everybody couldn't stand because he was that dude who was always talking about, like, you know, the betterment of everything, the dude with the glasses. They were all clowning. He was like, see, what you need to know is, you know, so what you need is some fucking intelligence. Yeah. So what you need to do is get educated, you know. I'm like, I listen to episodes and I'm like, I wonder if I sound like the monk version of that. Sometimes, you know, I laugh at myself, but it would have to be something the opposite of that. Like, I'm talking about like better understand, like seeing the humanity and all, no matter what. And then you see some tweets or a situation for me where I'm like riding hard on one person, like, this is black and fucking white, period, son. He's a terrible fucking person. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I got one for you, Aaron. If we found out that like you were taking like a 3-day journey to some Tibetan temple on the side of a mountain, but died like on the way up the stairs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My fucking the stairs to my condo. Yeah, that's
no, like the stairs up the mountain to get to the temple.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that like I went through some fucking 3-year trek, and then I end up dying on some random. I'm dying on like a regular ass stair.
Oh god,
carrying up groceries to my door. Yeah, I survived that.
Completely healthy through all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's a really good question. Damn, that's one that I would love to go like deeper into on another episode.
Because I'm not even saying like negatively ironic. This is a negative ironic, but just ironic.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I think for me, as much stuff as I talk online about people being racist or like
Mhm.
police shootings. I think if I got shot by like an Asian police officer,
Yeah.
like something like you don't really hear very often.
All right, that's fucked up, but it is funny.
Oh man,
Okay.
yeah, like you were in your favorite. You're like in one of your favorite cities. And what did you say your favorite place to travel was to?
Oh, so South Korea.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And,
even
Oh,
and,
shit,
and it,
that
happened.
would
And it happened
actually-
there.
That's
It
even
happened
better. 'Cause they don't even carry guns. So if I manage to get killed by one of them, yeah, that would be quite ironic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're so all they do, like there's some parts
Mhm.
of certain towns where they have like have on foot officers, then they just walk around the block and they just walk
Hmm.
and with their little flashlights and stuff. I mean, they don't, like I said, they don't even have guns. So
Is it safe to say that they don't have many situations where shit gets crazy violent? They're like they would need to address it in a more
it's very
aggressive
rare.
way.
It's
Yeah.
very rare. Like I mean, people do get murdered, but like they like in the whole country is like a handful a year. I mean, it's not,
Gotcha.
it's a country like 50 million people. So
Those are good odds, man.
do you remember
Yeah,
the leading cause of death in South Korea?
I have no idea. I don't know. That's good. I have no idea. I'm super curious now, though. I'd like to know that. Let's see.
Because I'm like, here, isn't it like
Heart
Heart-
disease.
heart failure? Oh no, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think it's heart disease, right?
Heart disease. Thank you.
Yeah.
Heart disease and cancer.
Same thing there. You know
Heart
what?
disease.
I didn't specify. I said leading. Leading cause of death. That's all I said.
Boom, boom,
I was gonna be that. It's cancer.
It's cancer.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be that too because there's a lot of pollution. I know they say pollution can cause cancer.
So it's like specifically lung or
It didn't specify, but I'm wondering if I can find something more specific here.
Well, speaking of health, y'all, is there a time where you guys feel like, is there an age where you feel like, all right, I'm going to start eating healthy, period. I'm going to start like changing the way I go about doing things. Have you thought about that? Or has somebody been pressing you? Like my girl, for instance, my girl told me at 40, no matter what, I'm going to be like doing yoga and stretching with her and shit. And I'm going to be like, the health needs to go up and be a number one concern from then on. And that's just her. Like her and I have these jokes, you know, all the time about like, yo, if I want a fucking handful of chocolate or whatever, I'm gonna fucking do it. She'll say something like, well, remember at 40, you got to start caring about blah, 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 blah. You know, so I'm just wondering in your life, your situation, your relationship, do you have an idea in your own mind at such and such age, or I'm going to start thinking about my prostate, eat more blueberries, whatever the fuck it may be?
Yeah.
I think I don't know that I have because I'm generally healthy just because physical occupation. But I did almost like take a hard pivot into like full plant-based everything because I had something going on, and it was back when like telehealth was the only way you can talk to doctors. And so I would call my doctor and be like, hey, you know, it's this thing going on my foot. He was like, it sounds like you got gout. And I was like, gout? The fuck? And I almost shut everything the fuck down because getting gout at this age is like getting scurvy. So you're like, yeah, and I was about to shut everything the fuck down.
Yeah, it's no joke.
But at the same time, that would have been even more difficult because like with gout, I don't think you can like eat spinach, and I eat a lot of fucking spinach.
Yeah, dude, there's certain crazy things. Like my aunt is crazy, like, and my grandfather, I think, is maybe where she got it from. Is super prone to, I'm blanking. Hey, too much calcium buildup.
I'm not sure.
Damn, and it like comes up like when it kidney stone. There we go. Kidney stone. And like my aunt couldn't eat or consume certain healthy teas and stuff. Certain things that are naturally typically really good for the average person who doesn't have to deal with that. but for her, it's like super problematic. It's crazy.
Yeah. Even with this healing after surgery and whatnot, I've been later advised to calm down on like gluten and dairy and whatnot, in which I barely eat. I barely eat that much dairy as it is, but I eat a lot of fucking bread.
Or
So
it's so good. When it's good, man.
what about you, Adam?
For me, I would say. Kai, what's the question again? I'm sorry.
At certain age,
It's kind of like
health.
change
Gotcha.
your eating habits.
Yeah. So that's actually an excellent question because me and Kirsten talk about that literally, like probably on a weekly basis, honestly.
Yeah, and it could be being more active, stretching, whatever, to whatever degree. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm gonna say relatively immediately. To be honest, like right now we're working on moving, and we're gonna kind of just use that kind of as like a fresh start, kind of like a reset. Now, you mentioned something about like if you want to have a handful of chocolate, then that's like we've always been proponents of like eating what you want to eat. Like now that doesn't mean eat pizza every day or something, but like if you've been eating healthy for the entire week, you'll be fine if you go and get pizza. Like that's never going to be like we're never going to just never, but I'm gonna say this, like for me, the first thing I want to do is, I guess you could say, stop eating fast food, because I eat way too much fast food, but it's not because I even want to. And I was just talking to her about that last night. It was like, it's not even because I like it, really. It's just convenient. It's like, it's quick and it's right there. I don't have to get out my car. It's like it's right there. But yeah, I'm like pretty much as soon as we move, which I'm hoping is within a month or so. I'm still not even aware, but
I was gonna say y'all gonna come out to the city since you working out here or what?
Probably not the city, but probably somewhere in the suburbs. Because like for me, I want to get as close to work as I can. Because I'm not a commuter. I despise it. So this last year has been. I mean, I've gotten used to it, to be honest with you. So it's not even as bad as it was. Sometimes it's kind of not bad at all. Actually, I just throw on a podcast or music, and it's like, it's kind of cool. But it's just a lot of money in gas, obviously. So, but it kills a lot of time. So, and as a guy that's work full time, also a full time student, I need a little bit some of that time back.
So reclaim that time. Hell yeah, reclaim that time.
But wait a minute, I did answer the question right. I'm so my mind is it's not there today. I don't know why, but okay.
I get it. Word.
It's all good, yeah.
Well, party people out there, like I said, one of these days we'll make a real name for you. But for now, the Whole Nest. Tell us what your eating habits are. Tell us if you got any subjects that you want us to talk about. Again, shout out to Anise for. I'd been hearing about the subject. Me and my girl had talked about it real briefly, but I didn't know enough, and so this made me go look more into it. So thank you for sending this to us. By all means, write us in, Informally Honest everywhere, Informally Honest Podcast @gmail.com. And we love you. We appreciate you. Fellas, last thoughts.
I'm going to say this, man. Don't wait to start eating healthy, because it's creep up on you. So
you got to treat that shit like car issues. When you hear that sound, go ahead and get it checked out now.
Yeah.
Hey, W, you got anything?
Yeah. Per usual, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening, everybody, and please continue to provide feedback, because as we did with this episode, we will address it, and we appreciate it. So, yeah. Absolutely. I also hope that this, like, in general, but this particular episode just helps people see things in a different light, maybe gives them a different perspective,
If nothing else, hope it helps you to have conversations with your peoples. Rate, review, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and sponsor us on Anchor. One of these days, I'm actually going to record that Anchor commercial, even though it's never going to pay us. All right, we love you, we appreciate you, and I'm gonna say it again. We love you and we appreciate you. Every conversation that you have, every connection you make, and every piece of camaraderie that you indulge in. We encourage you, we implore you, and we empower you to be forthright, vulnerable, and most of motherfucking all, honest. Peace.
Peace out.
Without shedding a tear for my brother, I really wanna try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.